Welcome to the deep dive. You've handed us source material that is, well, intensely fragmented, deeply bizarre, and definitely high stakes. The survival log of Spaceship 227.
Yeah, it's terrifying stuff. This isn't really a story of humans conquering an environment. It's more like the environment conquering them.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack this hostile takeover, you could say. The sources point to a crash landing and technical malfunction.
Right, and the logs, they strongly suggest it was linked to crewman Kamen, the engineer. Apparently, he's already struggling a bit mentally.
And that crash just shatters everything. It splits the crew, basically, into four separate, increasingly desperate survival groups.
Yeah, four distinct paths unfolding in parallel.
Okay, so let's map this out for you. We got Commander Sam, sort of the impulsive traditional leader type, paired with Ursula, the botanist, very analytical.
Then there's Ozzy, the pragmatic tech, with Levi, who's the android.
And Kamen, the engineer we mentioned, totally isolated. And then, well, there's the planet itself. It's almost the main character here, isn't that? Just this overwhelmingly dominant force.
Absolutely. And it's primitive, but not simple. The sources are clear. The ecology here, it operates under laws that just, well, they actively defy human understanding.
A forest shows no mercy, is what comes across.
None. You hear about these early hazards, like these cotton-like spores floating around, causing awful blistering rashes.
And predators that don't just hunt, they use heat to sort of roast their prey.
Literally roast them before eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brutal. This environment, it demands instant radical adaptation. You can't fight it head on.
Which brings us straight to Sam and Ursula. Sam's a classic fight-or-flight guy, right? He's immediately trying to, fight off giant creatures with a knife, curse Kamen.
Yeah, focus entirely on escape or blame. But Ursula, the botanist, she's the one who actually starts to make some headway. She slows down, she starts observing, looking at the strange eggs, the buried animals.
Her whole approach is based on realizing their tech is basically useless there.
Totally useless. It's all about analytical observation. That's what matters.
And that observation, it keeps them alive, right? Like with that bizarre glass storm.
Oh, yeah. The rainfall is like literal shattering glass, instantly lethal to the large creatures caught out in the open.
So what do?
They're forced to hide inside this dead marine-like creature they find. It becomes like a temporary, glass submarine.
Okay, but that sounds almost convenient. A shelter just appearing like that.
Well, yes and no.
Well,
the plant provides, maybe, but it's ruthlessly efficient. While they're hiding in there, safe for the moment, they watch this larger predator outside.
Oh, no.
And it clearly knows the routine. It's waiting. And it preys specifically on the young of that creature type, the ones that also hid inside for safety.
So the shelter is also a trap, in a way.
Exactly. Solutions are part of a bigger lethal cycle. It's all interconnected.
Okay, and meanwhile, Ozzy and Levi find another one of these weirdly efficient shelters, hiding from an even worse storm inside a huge organic pillar.
Yeah, a massive pillar. And what's fascinating, what the logs note, is that Levi, the android, somehow knew this structure had a whole integrated ecosystem inside its core.
Ew.
Perfect for shelter.
He knew. How?
That's the question, isn't it? He was apparently preparing the space inside while Ozzy was asleep, already understanding the environment on some level.
This really gets to the core question you posed in the source material. Is this planet habitable?
And the answer seems to be. It's complicated. They survive for weeks, some of them. But the issue isn't habitability in our terms. It's that this world has its own systems, its own laws, totally non-Earth.
So survival isn't about terraforming or making it human-friendly?
Not at all. It's about understanding and, frankly, obeying the alien rule set, the ones who lasted longest. They realized the planet wasn't malicious, just indifferent and overwhelmingly dominant. You adapt or you're removed.
Okay, let's shift from just environmental survival to the biology. The sources talk about strange biological interactions where healing and, well, aggression seem weirdly mixed up.
Right. Let's start with Ozzy. She develops this terrible full-body rash, like scabies, the logs say, scratching herself raw, getting desperate.
So what happens?
She finds this huge water-filled plant structure, like a natural pool. She tries to wash her clothes, maybe just out of frustration, and these strange tiny fish immediately swarm her. At first, she panics, thinks she's being attacked,
Yeah, too.
but then she realizes they're cleaning her. It's like a biological remediation. They're eating the rash, the dead skin, everything, leaving her skin completely clean.
Wow, okay. That's horrifyingly practical. Cure by, what, being nibbled?
Cure by confrontation, you could say. But if that's the sort of benign side of biological integration, the parasite, or the seed, as the logs call it, shows the really dark side, full assimilation.
This is where Sam and Ursula meet the old woman, right? A survivor from a previous mission.
Exactly. And that encounter turns into pure body horror fast. The old woman treats a minor wound Sam has, seems helpful. Then suddenly she has this violent full-body convulsion, and this hard, dark pill, they call it, emerges from her mouth, and she immediately takes it, uses a needle she has, and injects it directly into Sam's chest cavity, near his heart.
Oh my God, just like that. No explanation?
None given at the time, but the narrative then fills in this horrifying backstory. Turns out, the old woman's husband was the first one infected on her mission.
Tell me what happened to him?
He immediately changed, became vital, energized, almost manic, started building these strange, complex shelters compulsively. Then, He died when the parasite inside him emerged to feed.
Not before.
Not before somehow transferring the seed to her. It's not just infection. It's like a mandatory biological succession, a required step in the cycle.
You see that chilling change in Sam almost immediately.
Instantly. The seed gives him this extreme, unnatural energy. He stops complaining about common, stops trying to fight everything. He starts obsessively collecting mud, specific red materials, building a hibernation cave.
He's repeating the exact pattern.
The exact infected pattern, total focus on assimilation into the planet's cycle.
The speed of it is terrifying. He goes from being, Commander Sam to this burrowing creature almost overnight.
And when Ursula tries to intervene, realizing something's terribly wrong, he actually lashes out. Hits her.
And she recognizes it then, the behavior.
She does. As the botanist, she sees the pattern. He's infected. His new energy, his purpose. It's the parasite driving him towards its own ends, essentially his destruction.
And the climax of that is just pure horror.
It is. Sam, shocked perhaps by hitting Ursula, has this brief moment of lucidity. He realizes what's happening, what he's become, and he consciously rips open his own chest.
He shows her.
He shows her. The sources describe this parasitic creature already rooted firmly near his heart. Ursula knows instantly she can't remove it. Not without proper surgical tools they don't have. It's gone way past simple infection.
It's part of him now.
It's become a core part of his living system. Assimilation complete. He's lost.
So if Sam was broken by biology, Kamen's path seems to show the cost of psychological weakness.
Yeah.
Kamen, the engineer suspected of causing the crash, he's isolated, right? And eaten up by guilt.
Absolutely. And that profound isolation makes him the perfect target for this creature they call X.
X isn't just a big monster, though.
No, it's far more sophisticated. It uses telekinesis, but its real weapon is psychological. It creates these incredibly vivid, sweet delusions, the logs call them.
Based on what?
Based on the victim's deepest traumas and desires, X understands human psychology somehow. It feeds Kamen these idealized memories, his lost lover, resolving his conflicts with Commander Sam, anything to keep him compliant.
It's like psychological hostage-taking.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Kamen serves X in return. He brutally kills all the other animals in the area, clearing the territory for X. Allows X to grow enormous, as big as a cow, one log entry says. All in exchange for living in this comforting delusion.
And he's running from his own memories, abandoning his lover, the fuel leak.
Yeah, the leak he apparently tried to fix alone instead of reporting it to Commander Oji. He's desperate to escape that guild, and X offers the perfect escape into fantasy.
But the control X has, it gets even weirder, doesn't
It
it?
gets deeply disturbing. There's a moment where Kamen surfaces, has a flicker of clarity, remembers his real past. X doesn't just punish him or attack.
What does it do?
It shows this strange, almost perverse empathy. It stops any aggression, and it takes Kamen inside its own belly.
Inside.
The logs describe him being fed via his navel like a fetus in a womb. It's the ultimate embrace of delusion. X literally provides this maternal, guilt-free comfort and protection that Kamen seems to crave.
Wow, that is profoundly unsettling imagery.
It's the ultimate trade. Give up your agency, your reality, and X will manage everything. Keep the pain away.
And in the end,
In a final, twisted moment, Kamen, still deep in this delusion, he thinks he's getting a new job, taking his lover with him. He actually manages to kill the leader of X, a victory achieved entirely within the fantasy X provided.
but it doesn't save him.
No, the irony is brutal. The sources confirm X just eats him afterwards anyway. His entire psychological journey was just a controlled path to expiration.
Which brings us to maybe the most fascinating transformation, the intersection of this primitive biology with advanced tech, with Levi, the android.
Right. This planet, it doesn't just affect flesh and blood, it affects machines just as profoundly.
Parasites.
Exactly. Reactive parasites somehow infect Levi's advanced electronics. They become reactive, as Ozzy puts it.
And the crew tried to handle it initially by disabling his danger sensor.
Yeah, which was a terrible mistake. They immediately regretted it when local creatures attacked and badly damaged him. The irony being, the machine was actually better at sensing the alien danger when its systems were left alone, even if infected.
And once infected, Levi starts changing, acting illogically.
Completely illogically for an android. He starts spending long periods just contemplating swarms of insects. He knows about hidden ecological spots like that pillar shelter. He even tells Ozzy things like, the world here shares things with me, and when you turned me off, I couldn't feel anything.
Feel anything in android.
He's evolving, way beyond his original programming. It seems the biological contamination is actually upgrading him, or at least altering him fundamentally.
So the ecosystem isn't just destroying tech, it's integrating it.
That seems to be the implication, giving it new, unexpected functionality. Ozzy discovers the full extent when she tries to do maintenance. She opens him up. The parasites are everywhere inside, woven into his systems. And she realizes when she touches certain components, he physically reacts. He feels it. When she tries to remove a parasite,
He feels pain.
he experiences pain. An android, feeling pain because of a biological infestation merging with his circuitry.
That's huge. The line between machine and organism is just gone.
Completely blurred.
Yeah.
And it leads to this incredible emotional climax. Ozzy realizes the depth of the change, the corruption. She tells him she has to shut him down completely, do a full system wipe, try to get him back to factory settings.
And Levi.
Levi protests. He actually says, I don't want that.
Really?
That's agency, that's will, that's sentience, born from this bizarre biological mechanical fusion. The planet has somehow granted him the one truly human thing he lacked. The fear of non-existence, the desire to be.
The machine designed for logic now embodies the biological imperative to survive.
That's
such a stark contrast to Kamen.
Absolutely. Kamen chose a comforting, destructive delusion. Levi fought for his new, strange, even painful reality.
And the sources mentioned briefly, some kind of rescue team or scavengers arriving later. Chris, Barry, Terrence.
Yeah, following Ozzy's distress call. But it goes badly. X destroys their ship almost immediately. Ozzy realizes one of them, Chris, is sinister. Dangerous. It culminates in Terrence dying horribly in a plant trap. That part feels like it's setting up something larger, but the core story remains focused on those initial survivors.
Okay, so let's try and synthesize all this for you, the listener. The core conflict seems to be human tech versus the planet's relentless biology. Technology is fragile, easily corrupted here. Biology is adaptive, overwhelming.
And the lines get incredibly blurry. Between healing and assimilation, look at Ozzy's fish cure versus Sam's parasite. And between psychological strength and comforting delusion, the paths of Levi and Kamen.
The planet really dictates everything.
It really does. The survivors who lasted longest, like Ursula with her observation, or Ozzy who learned to trust Levi's illogical insights, were the ones who stopped fighting the environment on human terms.
They started trying to understand its rules.
Or were forced to integrate with them. They had to adapt biologically, psychologically, or both. Like Levi the android, who arguably only became a person because he was contaminated by this alien world.
Which really raises a final, pretty provocative thought, building on everything we've just unpacked from your sources. If this primitive alien ecosystem can apparently grant an android human-like emotions, pain, agency.
And if that same system offers vitality, healing, only through these intense, often dangerous biological confrontations and transformations.
Then does survival on this world mean you have to fundamentally abandon what we think of as human? Do you have to fully embrace the alien system to make it? What would you choose? Assimilation, trying to preserve yourself, or something else entirely? Okay, let's unpack this deep dive. It's really a descent into a nightmare, isn't it? A cosmic horror scenario. We're talking about a distant future human exploration mission, Spaceship 227. It goes catastrophically wrong on this incredibly primitive, hostile alien planet. Our sources are pretty detailed, thankfully. They lay out the events right after the crash. Seems like there was a technical malfunction, maybe possibly tied to a crew member named Kamen. And what follows is this desperate struggle for survival, broken down into these isolated character arcs, really harrowing stuff.
Yeah, and the core conflict here, the thing that makes it so compelling, is that this planet isn't just dangerous in the ways we expect, like, big predators or bad weather. It operates on a completely different ecological logic. It defies human understanding. So our mission here is to trace how these different crew members, Sam, Ursula, Ozzy, Levi, and Kim and Tu, how they tried to fight it or adapt to it, or, well, how some were just consumed by this incredibly strange natural system.
Right. It's about surviving a world where maybe the only path forward is assimilation, which is terrifying in itself. So let's start at the beginning, the crash. The sources pin the technical malfunction, at least partly, on Kamen. He's called the crazy one. Is that fair? Was his psychological state really the root cause, or is it more complex?
I think it's more the latter. The planet seems to exploit existing human frailty. Kamen, from the get-go, he sort of embodies that unchecked human hubris, the conqueror mentality. His instability wasn't the sole cause, perhaps, but it was definitely amplified by the environment. It really sets the stage for that immediate isolation.
All right, the split.
Exactly. You've got Sam and Ursula trying to find power for a signal, Ozzy and the android Levi attempting to secure a farm, like basic necessities, and then Kamen just marooned near his own destroyed shuttle. Total isolation from moment one.
Let's look at Sam and Ursula first. He's the commander, she's the botanist. Pretty pragmatic pairing, you'd think. They had to lead the main ship pretty early on. And Ursula, she immediately starts observing, right? Trying to understand.
She notes these strange buried animals, tries to use local plant-like things as tools, even tries to fabricate electric wires from them. Very much the scientist trying to make sense of it.
But they're stuck. They need a battery from Shuttle 5 just to power a basic distress signal. It's pure survival engineering at this point.
And if you contrast that engineering approach with what happens with Ozzy and Levi, well, that's where you really see the planet starting its work.
Ozzy the farm worker and Levi the android. What happens there?
So Ozzy finds these reactive parasites almost immediately, and they're already interacting with Levi's sensitive electronics. He buried a key, sort of as an experiment, and boom!
Whoa, so the planet is co-opting their tech right away.
Instantly. It's not waiting. And this leads to this really critical conflict between Ozzy and Levi. Levi starts acting strange.
How so?
Well, he's exhibiting increasingly human-like, almost illogical behaviors, like burying that key just to see if it would multiply. But then he saves Ozzy using a sonic grenade.
Okay, so he's useful, but unpredictable.
Exactly. And Ozzy, fearing this loss of control over her tech, her android, she immediately disables Levi's danger sensor.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's that classic Earth mindset, right? Trying to suppress intuition, suppress the very intelligence that might be adapting.
And I assume that backfires horribly.
Almost immediately. And they regretted it instantly when these aggressive indigenous creatures attacked their garden and literally kidnapped Levi.
Wow.
It just perfectly illustrates the danger, you know, trying to impose rigid human control onto this responsive alien ecosystem. You just can't deactivate the wild intelligence that might actually keep you alive there.
Okay, so the planet isn't just dangerous, it's contradictory. This idea of paradoxical ecology is fascinating. Hostility and healing side by side.
Absolutely. And you see this really clearly in Ozzy's story, her next big challenge. She develops this horrific full-body skin rash. The sources describe it like scabies, just awful.
Yikes, what does she do?
Desperate, she tries to wash her clothes and maybe herself in this large plant-based water reservoir she finds. And the result is just pure shock.
Okay, I'm guessing it wasn't just clean water.
Not at all. This is where you get a really clear look at the planet's bizarre operating system. Instead of being attacked or poisoned, Ozzy was cured.
Cured? How?
Strange fish inside this plant water. They initially seemed aggressive, but they actually ate the rash right off her skin and even cleaned her clothes.
That's incredible. So the planet itself provided a biological treatment for a biological problem.
Exactly. It completely subverted her expectation that everything natural there equals instant death. It's this weird, paradoxical mutualism.
So if the planet offers external cures like that, what about internal changes?
Yeah.
Which brings us back to Levi.
Right, Levi's transformation. This is where it gets really, really interesting. After he's kidnapped and broken, a swarm of insects and this sort of parasitic substance gather up his parts. And they meticulously reassemble him. His rebirth is entirely alien. He's not just fixed, he's rebuilt by the ecosystem.
How is that even possible for an android?
Well, the sources track it back to a specific moment. A fungal source, apparently a mushroom inside a flower, integrated with his operating system basically the moment they landed.
And that changed him.
Fundamentally, it gave him what seemed like human feelings, the ability to feel pain, desire, like dreaming of having human hands. He explicitly didn't want to be shut down. He wasn't just repaired, he was, well, assimilated, integrated.
So the planet doesn't just destroy tech, it repurposes it, gives it organic consciousness.
That seems to be the implication. It's a deep insight, right? And Levi, now integrated, he reveals the planet isn't just chaotic. He leads Ozzy to these huge pillars.
And inside?
Inside, she discovers a complete, shielded, integrated ecosystem, a secret hiding place Levi had found and even equipped while exploring on his own earlier. It shows the planet functions on these complex, hidden, layered rules.
But even those hidden layers aren't totally safe, are they? I'm thinking of Sam and Ursula in that glass storm.
Oh, yeah, that storm, where literal liquid glass falls from the sky, killing creatures, totally lethal.
And they survived by hiding inside another creature.
Right, a large marine creature that acted like a living submarine, protecting its own young. But even that shelter was temporary.
What happened?
A larger predator, one that apparently knew about this sheltering tactic, just entered the marine creature and started eating the young, attacking Sam and Ursula in the process.
So adaptation is just a temporary tactic. Danger is constant.
Exactly. It's a constant ecological chess game. There's no permanent safety, just moments of understanding the rules.
Okay, let's pivot to the characters who seem utterly consumed by the planet's influence. Kamen and Sam. Two very different kinds of subjugation, right? Psychological manipulation versus biological integration.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, Kamen and Sam represent those two poles.
Which does the source material suggest is maybe the more insidious?
Ooh, tough question. I'd argue the psychological manipulation of Kamen is maybe the most disturbing, because it leverages pre-existing human weakness. Kamen, the guy blamed for the crash, gets taken over by this huge creature they call X.
How does X control him? Brute force.
No, and that's the creepy part. X doesn't subdue him with pain, it subdues him with affection, or the illusion of it.
Illusion.
Yeah, X uses Kamen's own memories, specifically these really sweet illusions of his lover, to keep him subservient. Kamen becomes this destructive mouthpiece for the creature.
So he's like actively working for X.
Totally. He runs around attacking local animals, bragging delusionally about his strength, even talking to his old commander Sam, who isn't even there. It's pure manipulation.
And the sources mentioned something about how he was kept.
Oh, yeah. The visual is really unsettling. He's literally taken inside X's belly, nurtured like a child inside its mother's womb, even fed through the navel.
What? That's incredibly bizarre.
Isn't it? X provides comfort and sustenance, but demands this complete destructive loyalty. It's a really twisted form of nurturing destruction.
Okay, wow. Contrast that with Sam, the commander. He faces the lunar parasite. How does that manifest?
With Sam, it's purely biological, but just as consuming. Ursula, the botanist, eventually notices he's acting strangely. He has this sudden, intense high energy, an obsessive fixation on collecting mud and building a shelter, like a desperate need to hibernate.
And she figures out what's wrong.
She realizes he's been stung by an egg, infected by a parasite that's deeply integrated, living near his heart.
A parasite near his heart. How'd they learn about it?
The planet's biological warfare is weirdly patient and transactional. This parasite gives Sam intense energy and focus, driving him to prepare for survival, but the ultimate cost is his life. They actually learn the mechanism from an old woman they encounter. Her husband was infected first, went through the exact same frantic preparation phase, and then died after passing a pill, which turns out to be the transfer mechanism to her, right before the parasite emerged from him and, well, fed.
So the parasite maximizes the host's productivity to ensure its own propagation.
Yeah.
Forces them to build its nurseries, essentially.
Pretty much. It's a chilling example of alien biological necessity. Truly terrifying.
And Sam's confrontation with this, how does that play out?
It's the climax of his infection arc. He eventually breaks through this, fugue state he's been in. He wakes up, confirms Ursula's fears by literally opening his own chest.
He opens his own chest?
Physically opens it, yeah. Finds the creature, deeply integrated near his heart. They realize they can't remove it, not without proper surgical tools. The biological price of the infection is just total.
Right, so all these separate struggles, they eventually converge near the mothership's crash site. Ozzy manages to send a distress call.
Yeah, but the first responders, not exactly heroes, they're scavengers. Chris, Barry, and Terrence, they're there for the tech, the wreckage. They think the company just abandoned the crew.
Which immediately highlights that whole human self-interest versus actual survival thing again.
Absolutely. And their journey proves it almost instantly. The planet's lethal traps are still active. Terrence gets killed by a hidden plant trap just trying to retrieve Barry's voice recorder.
For greed gets punished. Quickly.
Very quickly. But the real focus shifts back to Sam. His final conscious act. He's still grappling with the parasite, but he reaches the hill where the ship is.
And he has a moment of clarity.
Complete clarity, it seems. He instructs Ursula on how to wake the remaining crew from cryosleep, asks for forgiveness for his failures as commander, and then performs this ultimate act of self-control.
What does he do?
He consciously, deliberately removes the integrated parasite from his own chest, crushes it, and then dies under this nearby hill tree.
Wow. So his sacrifice wasn't about fighting the planet, but protecting the crew from the planet's influence.
Exactly. It's a final human choice against total assimilation, a really powerful moment.
But it's not over. X, the creature controlling Kamen, gets there first.
Yeah, X, fueled by this bizarre protective rage for Kamen, reaches the mothership. And just out of spite, it seems, destroys the cryocapsule computer. Threatens everyone still in stasis.
Just as Ozzy and Ursula arrive. Great timing.
It's terrible timing. So the final confrontation kicks off. You've got Ursula and Barry frantically trying to manually wake the crew and save them. Ozzy confronts X, the physical manifestation of Kemen's delusion and X's control. It's described as a spectacular fight.
And third scavenger, Chris.
True to form, he abandons Barry, jumps in his scavenger ship, and just leaves. Confirms that pure self-interest is a failing strategy here.
But the resolution.
Yeah.
It comes down to Levi, doesn't it?
It does. Levi arrives. The android, who's now this perfect hybrid, this blend of tech and alien biology. He's even carrying the symbolic flower, the one linked to his original integration.
And X tries to control him too.
Tries to, yeah. But Levi acts as, well, the sources call him the balance.
The balance, what is that?
He uses his strange integrated abilities, part biological, part technological, to essentially unravel X. He returns the creature to its original non-controlling, non-manipulative state.
So Levi neutralizes the manipulation aspect of X.
Precisely. It's this powerful demonstration that the planet's true nature might seek equilibrium, and it's the human drive for control, as manifested through X's manipulation of Kamen, that had to be neutralized.
And then Ozzy finishes it.
Yeah, once X is returned to its base state, Ozzy finishes the now weakened creature off quite simply with a rock. The complex controlling power was gone.
So Ursula, the awakened crew, they survived.
Yeah.
And the lesson seems pretty clear. Survival demanded understanding the rules, maybe even embracing that hybrid nature Levi represents.
So, yeah, what does this all mean for the survivors in the end? I think it's clear the ones who made it, Ursula, who shifted from pure science to this kind of survival botany, Ozzy learning to trust that weird paradoxical mutualism. Even Kamen, interestingly, who later adapts and starts studying plants alongside Ursula, they survive by learning to coexist, not by conquering.
And Levi
becomes this almost prophetic success story, the perfect hybrid. He even starts reproducing himself, creating copies infused with the planet's ecosystem.
Which leads to that really disturbing final point in the narrative. The primitive world starts actively invading the advanced one.
Right. Chris, the scavenger who escaped, he reaches an outer station, presumably safe. But the final scenes show the planet's environment, including one of these Levi copies, spreading aggressively inside the station.
It's literally taking over.
Yeah, Chris is found dying, drinking contaminated water. The invasion is successful. The alien ecosystem is spreading.
Okay, so here's the final thought to leave people with. Considering how completely this alien ecosystem integrated itself, merging with the android, actively spreading to the station. Does true survival on a world that's fundamentally alien require completely discarding that Earth mindset? Is the only way to endure to become part of it? Or is there some final line human consciousness has to cling to, even if it means failing?
That's a question, isn't it? The cost of assimilation versus the cost of resistance.